Today on the table, we have a Star Model B. So this is a Spanish-made pistol. Star, in my opinion, is the more common or popular Spanish-made pistols versus Llamas and some of the other brands that used to be in business. And obviously Star is no longer in business. They were made from 1920 to 1983. And so when they started in Spain in 1920, they produced the first lock breeching design, and that was the model 1920. So basically they used that as like their kind of, their trying of making a pistol, and what they did was they really just heavily copied a 1911 based on that model 1920, and then after they kind of perfected it, they came out with the model, or the Star Model A, and that was in a 9mm Largo, so it was actually in a 9x23 is what that was, and they had made those actually for quite a while, but while they were still, producing those Model A's, they actually came out with the Star Model B, which is this, and this is in a 9mm Parabellum, which is the more common 9mm round. And then they had that first design of Model B for a little bit of time, but then they switched it over, I think right around 1931, maybe right around 1931 or 1933. Then they came out with the second version of the Model B, which is what this is. And those were the more common ones, and they were used in World War II. The Germans and Bulgarians bought those as well. In World War II, Germany ended up buying quite a few, and like I said, Bulgaria did. Bulgaria bought them in blocks of 5,000, and those serial numbers can easily be traced. They're not marked by the Bulgarian country, to have any specific stamps. So you'd actually have to use their serial numbers to decide or figure out if you have one from World War II that Bulgaria purchased. The Nazis, when they bought them, or Germany, when they bought them, they were intended more for the police units and then rear line units as well. So, it wasn't really more of like a front line type of pistol, but they had a Waffen mark, or Waffen stamp marked on those. So those are really easy to figure out which ones they are. A couple other things on here too, though, is that, like I said, the Model A came out, which was that design off that old model 1920, and then they came out with different versions of this Model B, which is what you see here, and this is the second version as well. We'll go over this one. This one's actually really cool. It does have a holster with it, and it is marked, and this is all original. It is serial number stamped on every part, and I will show you that here, so you can see the serial number here on it ends in 137. So you can see it's marked here in every spot, even on the magazine here. You can see it's barely right there visible on there, and then you can see there's another mark there, but you can see how it's marked here everywhere. It's stamped 137, and it even is on the barrel as well. So this is a totally all original, everything. It even has original grips as well. So it's pretty cool in that regards. I haven't shot it yet, and it came actually with a secondary mag, which is not marked, and an original holster from around World War II, which was pretty cool. But we will do a quick safety check on it, so you can just see that it is not loaded, of course. Right there, you can see that. And then we can look at the original mag that it has. So it has like a keyhole thing on there, like you see on some of the old Colt mags. It is a solid metal mag. You can see here it says Star right there on the bottom of the mag, with the serial number on the bottom. Put this back in there. There we go. But yeah, it's super cool. Now the fun thing about these is they're most common in two major movies. So if you remember and if you're this far in the video, in Pulp Fiction, Jules carried a silver-plated one. And then where I am more familiar with them, or where I notice them the most, is if you remember the bad guy in The Untouchables in that white suit when he's at the courthouse with Kevin Costner, when Kevin Costner stops him, he's carrying a Star Model B. He's had a nickel one. He has a nickel-plated one with ivory grips on it. And I would love to find one of those, because I love that movie, and it would be sweet to have a nickel-plated Model B with the ivory grips on it as well. But yeah, these are, and then again, so 4.8-inch barrel, I didn't say that, but, and an 8-round mag. But they're just super cool, super well made. I probably should go out and shoot it, but I don't want to clean it. I'm just being lazy, but it is just a super, super cool pistol to have. But if you have any questions, or if you have one in the comments, or, you know, different models of Star, like if you have an A, B, or a BM as some of the other ones, they did come out with those. There's a BK, a BKS, a BG, and a BS. Those were the models that they've had over the course of all the years until they, you know, stopped production and went out of business in 1983. But thanks again for watching.